This is Anthony with True Diamond Heart, continuing our video series on transcendence. Make sure that you have 3 to 7 minutes, please, in relative quiet stillness. If you don't, you can come back. We're going to do a meditation and experience another experience of transcendence. Please sit still and upright. First and foremost, relax. There is no enemy. There is nothing to resist. Please close your eyes. Allow the voice that speaks to be that which guides. The way to avoid the resistance that comes up based on the idea that you are a separate being who needs to protect him or herself from the ego, him or herself who's speaking, is to understand that when this work is done, nothing is generated that you are not ready for and that didn't come from the higher self that's always pulling you. To the extent that you surrender to it, to the extent that you don't take the dysfunctional little self personally, as we've spoken of in the past, to the extent we are sincere and honest, as we've spoken about, to the extent we allow the light of truth and mindfulness, that is always pulling us and always speaking to us. You read that book, you just happen to be ready for it. You hear this voice, you happen to be ready for it. It is coming from that which is always calling you from within, the true master, the true mistress. As you drop your resistance, to the extent you surrender and drop your resistance, already at this point, you're feeling a lightness and a spaciousness you didn't feel just 90 seconds ago. Because you're allowing the transmission, which is the reception. You are transmitting this and receiving it simultaneously. Because the you that we're speaking about is me. There is only one self on this level. Allow yourself to open to it. Open. Allow the space at the center of your chest to expand in softness. See, the center of your chest is a bright light that expands and glows. It glows through your head, it glows through your stomach, it glows through your legs and feet, your arms, and it extends past your body. The light of the love that you are is filling the room that you're in. It's filling the city. It just fills all space. As it expands, all that is melts into it. The expanse of truth, of your being. The you that's now speaking to itself. I am speaking to myself, and so I listen in receptivity as I tell myself that I am the boundless space in which all things happen. The open light of love, that which knows no other. Love is the recognition of self everywhere. It's not a doing, it's a state of knowing that that dog that's shaking behind me is simply me in another form. That enemy that you think you have, that friend you think you have, the plant that's growing next to you, everything that ever was, is, and will be is you. No more than I am you, and no less than you are me. There's a freedom there, isn't there? Can you feel the transcendence being above the day-to-day in this spaciousness of your consciousness? You are no longer at this particular moment, and notice how the voice tempts you by saying, you are no longer that problem. You are no longer that fear. You're no longer that worry and that trauma. Notice how each of those words tempts you to leave this spaciousness. And yet your decision is to stay in the spaciousness. Something just fell. The animals are making a mess. It is not our problem. At this moment, we are experiencing the boundless truth of our timeless being now. This is perfect. Coming back slowly to everyday consciousness. Making sure that we're embodied, we go about our everyday, whatever it is. The dogs and the cats are telling us that this is going to be a short meditation, but still, we glimpsed, we touched upon. And if you didn't, go back and do it again when you have a moment. And do it in surrender and non-resistance. You'll find yourself in a place that you feels like home, that you crave. You'll find yourself in a state of at least beginning transcendence, and perhaps great transcendence. That's what your soul craves. That's who you are in your most fundamental, permeated, saturated truth.